These are the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. These are the Nintendo JoyCon Straps. And this is how to use them. This is your Nintendo Joy Strap. As you can see, there's a plus on that side, negative on that side. There is a lock mechanism right there. That's it. This is your Joy-Con. Each Joy-Con is topped with a positive or negative, which tells you which one it is. These straps can go either side for whichever one you're using. We're going to start with the red. So we're going to put it on so that the negative is facing back towards me. The positive is facing out like the Joy-Con. But before we get to this part, it's important to check the base. See this locking mechanism here? Hear that click? Needs to be unlocked. If you put the thing on when it's locked, it will jam. And when it jams, it doesn't matter if you're unlocking it afterwards and removing it appropriately. You jammed it. It's gonna stick. You're gonna have to force it out of that jam. So we start position unlocked. We slide and it clicks. If you do not hear the click, you're doing it wrong. You're gonna have issues. So because I have not locked it, it's still unlocked. Now here's the rub. That is the side you're going to be pushing from, or that's the side you want the motion to come, because you want this to come off this way. So I find that if I hold it like this, with the strap on top, the Joy-Con facing down, so it looks like this, and you have a little horizon, it comes off easiest. I'm going to face it towards you as I do this. So we're unlocked because we've never locked, but if we press down here to apply pressure, we lock it. So the important thing is to not press this section here. We touch the little dot on the back, and easy as 1, 2, 3. You will hear a click as it disengages, and that is just to let you know that it has in fact been removed appropriately. Once again, click, on, off, on, off. Takes no effort. Now we're going to set these guys to the side. We're going to use this one just to prove that that isn't a malfunctioning JoyCon strap. We're going to use my blue one. It's kind of nice that this one's a different color, so I don't have to worry about showing you the transition. So anyway, this time the negative is facing out. Once again, we have to check. We're unlocked. Locked, unlocked. And slide. Ta-da! And now, as you can see, if I lock it, this is going to not want to budge. The reason it's not going to want to budge is because you don't want it coming off. Concept. If this comes off of this, it's not doing its job. So we unlock it. Nice little snap. We hold the little button. Off it comes. Easy as day. You hear a little snap that tells you that it is in fact off, which is the same way you hear a little snap when it comes right on. No effort. None. So let's say I try to lock it. all locked, and I try to get it off. Doesn't matter. If I'm pressing this button and we are locked, it's not coming off. Doing so will actually damage the Joy-Con, but it comes right off otherwise. So we're going to try the other thing that a lot of you have trouble with. Oopsie daisies. Look at me. Look at me. I put it on upside down. And I've actually done this a number of times. And Nintendo themselves actually released a PR report just telling you kind of how to deal with this. And it's the same exact way you deal with it the other way around. You make sure you're unlocked. You make sure you're pressing the button. Now this is going to require a bit of force because it's not supposed to be this way. But it's still not impossible to get the thing off. Just a little bit of force. And mostly what I try to do in that situation, and again I'm going to put it on backwards just to show you, is you notice how the tip is just raised ever so slightly here? How this part comes up a little off the Joy-Con. That creates lever space, and you can see it a little bit more clearly on the other side. You see how they're differentiated, and there's definitely a loop difference. That creates motion, because you can use it as a lever and just push it down. So, once again, we're unlocked. Once again, we're going to hold this, and we are going to pinch it, and then push down, off. Now it takes a little bit of practice, and it takes me a bit of time too, because pressing this button down is actually what's hard. A lot of people don't realize that when, for example, you're putting it on and off your Switch console, that you're not actually pushing the button down all the way. You put this on, snaps in. You don't have to do more than just lightly touch the button to disengage it from the actual Switch console. And so if you're applying that same kind of light force on pressing that little button to this, it's not going to move very easily. So you have to remember that you have to press it down. And I'm trying my best not to hit any of the other buttons, which is probably a design feature they might want to fix. But I trust the engineers over at Nintendo a bit more than my own personal experiences. So, you press it, we're engaged, parallel, off, easy pie. And no, I'm not blowing steam, gas, whatever you want to call it. That's the easiest thing I've ever had to do. Takes no effort. And I'm the kind of person who has someone else in my family open the jars, because unless I have some hot water and time, they're not coming open for me. But this is almost effortless. And so I do not understand why everyone's having issues. I understand that some people are. I respect that they're having trouble. But hopefully my tips and tricks have helped you. Making sure you're putting it on when it's not in the locked position is extremely important. I have found that if I put it on and it is locked, that I do have a little bit of a fight ahead of me. If you put it on while it's locked, it's going to jam. Even if you unlock it, it's jammed, and it's going to take more than just that to take it off. So that might be a common issue. I've also found that when I initially got it, what I was doing was I was using this as my lever to get it off. And when I did that, I was, unbeknownst to me, pushing in my lock, which of course is going to cause me issues because the lock is designed, again, to make sure this little guy does not come off this little guy. Just for your safety, for play, and for usability. But I can do this all day long. All day long. It's not an issue at all. And in fact, I will show you that it isn't even a pair issue. So, switch ourselves over to red with the same one I was using on blue. Once again, we're still unlocked. Press the little button, slide it right off. No problem. No no effort. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will try my best to answer them. Hopefully I was able to get someone a little bit better idea of how to operate this thing, because these are really cool, and honestly this is by far my favorite configuration. I really like how I can just hold this in my hand and play, but I also appreciate having my Joy-Cons on my controller, so I've actually gotten pretty used to taking these guys on and off, and I honestly have never had the issues that I see a lot of people on YouTube having. And if I'm lucky, I'm lucky, and I'm very grateful. That was me knocking on wood. But again, to me, this is easy. And hopefully, with what I've shown you today, it can be easy for you too. And you can take these on and off with no effort. Because ideally, that's how we want to play, right? Right? Alright, so this is Faye from iGame Online signing off. Have fun.